Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike and T-Roy are here. Big E's in the house. What up, Big E?
Hello.
How are you, friend?
Great.
Look at you. You've been shorn.
I know.
You look fucking fabulous, man. I gotta tell you.
I don't know. I like his hair more mop.
No,
Well,
just a handsome son of a bitch now.
I
Looking
had
more
to-
like Travis.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
They trimmed his beard for him, too, didn't
Yeah,
they?
I went to one of the fancy these hipster places, where they do the fucking the rub down, hot
boy.
towel, all that shit or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Oh, yeah, they trimmed it up.
I wanted to
Putting any
get
beard oil in there?
They asked me if I wanted to, and I didn't. I just said nah, because what am I gonna come here and because I won't do it again.
Yeah.
So what's the difference, I suppose? But I don't know. I wanted to trim it. In the end, I wanted to keep the beard. I have gotten to the point where like I looked at pictures of me without it. I'm like, I think I look weird. And I like the beard, so
Yeah, I have one. And mine, again, just pure laziness. That's all it is. I'm
Yeah.
not going for a fashion statement or trying to be a hipster or
I'm fortunate I don't
fit
have
in
to
with
shave
the
for
youngins.
work. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
I
like, no.
sneak it in once a week or so, or unless
Yeah.
I got something to do.
well, I
Balls
never,
and face get the same treatment. It's like, yeah, when I feel
When I
like, it's
get
like,
to
oh
it.
yeah, I should probably do that.
I never thought I could even grow one. To be honest with you, even last year when I did the trip, I was like, I'm not going to cut my hair for a year or whatever. I really still didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't think it would actually grow out because I
Imagine if
never
it just
have.
didn't grow.
Yeah.
I think it was the same the day
Fucking
you
like
came
Ryan
back.
Osterbeck's
I've never,
bits.
yeah, I just never had. I mean, it took me, I think, till I was 25-ish to be able to grow a goatee. So I've never just been strong in my, facial hair game.
Yeah,
I
your
guess.
game
So
sucked.
Is that part of it now? Like
What's
just
up?
pride that you got this beard and you got it all now? You're afraid to shave it off?
I
and won't
just
give it back?
like it. I just think I like it, and maybe it's someday I'll shave it again. I don't know, but for now, I like it. Although I will say,
the good thing about having one for a long time is when you do shave it off, it shaves 15
Right,
years off your
yeah,
life.
yeah.
You look younger.
and I would say the thing is, the only thing I would say is like I'm not gonna. This is something I did as a one time. I ain't doing this every 3 months or whatever people would do to trim your
What'd
beard.
you pay for that? What'd you pay?
$60, man.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
I know. I went to a fucking one of these ones in Royal Oak.
Oh, yeah.
or whatever.
What were you thinking?
Dapper House or whatever?
That was it. Yeah.
What was your girl's name?
Rachel?
Britland? Oh.
Maybe or
Little
Sarah?
girl.
No, Sarah. I
Okay.
think it was Sarah.
Sarah.
But no, I wanted. Well, I didn't know how to do the beard thing. I didn't want to just go to a fucking.
How do you know about that place?
I didn't.
Steve?
I know everything.
Yeah, you do.
I just didn't want to go to a.
Britt used to be
Bull
with
Ricks or whatever.
Karina, and then she went over there.
Okay. All right.
No, I didn't want to go to I don't know. I just didn't want to go to what Great Clips to do my beard. I didn't trust that. I wanted to go to a place
Yeah.
where they actually do it up and stuff, and so I did it.
Well, you
whatever.
can tell someone did it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
You're gonna look up for your first day of work, and you're
I
gonna
still
look
want
good.
the Captain Lou Albano rubber bands in there, man.
Yeah. Although here's the only thing I will say. For one, as you know, I actually don't even necessarily like having girls. Like, you know how I am with I despise the fake flirty, shit. I'd almost rather have a dude just because I don't have to deal with them. Like I'm not gonna give any more of a tip or less than a tip, and I don't mind if a guy's talking to me. I just hate when girls pretend they pretend like they care about you, and I'm like, dude, I'm just a client.
Save
it's not
it.
as I know it's not a strip club, but it's one step below
Yeah.
that to me.
Plus, you don't like girls touching you.
I don't mind that as much anymore, but it's more just like I don't.
Well, you
like,
said your whole thing like years ago is you'd rather have a guy piss on you than a woman.
right. Well, that's
You don't
'cause
want
I
to stare at a vagine.
No, I don't. But
gross.
and I stand by that. But
Yeah.
anyway, the other thing I made a mistake I will say is I went in with literally no plan for what I like. Oh, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
a haircut.
Yeah.
Trim this a little bit. Like, is there?
Yeah, I've seen better haircuts on you. I'll be honest. The beard looks looks good.
I agree.
I like your hair a little fucking wild. So
I just figured how I am. I'm not going to probably cut it again. Till the end of the summer. So get it down.
Day
Give
one,
it about,
let's go in there pretty clean cut.
Give it about 3 weeks.
Let it go fucking wild from there.
And the other thing is, honestly, if you go to a place like that, I know a lot of guys do things like more stylish, maybe, trim the sides deeper. But it's like, I'm not going to keep it up. So I just needed it to be a basic cut. I was more going for the beard.
Yeah,
And figured I might as well cut the hair.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, this is your last show, at least for a while.
Unless you get fired.
Yeah, unless I get fired.
Yeah,
or
which is
canceled.
it's a possibility.
Certainly, all those things.
Yeah.
Those things are possible.
The odds of you not pulling your dick out at an inappropriate time up north is
I
slim
feel like
to
that's
none.
old of you.
It's been a long time since I've had to have coworkers, like in the real sense of coworkers.
yeah.
Like I can do whatever.
Oh yeah,
It's
you pulled your dick
encouraged.
out in front of me before.
It's
Like,
encouraged.
no big
Like
deal.
it's like fine, whatever
Yeah,
for the show and stuff.
Absolutely.
And obviously, driving around by myself delivering fast food doesn't fucking talk to myself
Yeah,
all day.
yeah.
So So I haven't had like coworkers in a while.
Yeah.
So that'll be weird. I feel
Well,
like.
if you've got a group of jokesters there that like to egg people on, and they could get your goat.
I know,
And they could get you going to pull your dick out or
I
something.
would say this though, and this is for whatever it's worth. I looked in my Facebook group of like where I'm staying. The house in general has like a Facebook group, and not all the people are in it. But I looked at who, like, they made a post recently. Hey, we're moving in this week, this and that.
Any smoke shows?
I looked at. There were some okay girls,
Well,
okay
that's good.
girls,
That's more in your range anyway.
But like there was like I was looking at the ages, and for one, the ages are like 20 to 25.
Yeah,
and I
not
mean, I'm
40.
39. And the other, and with that comes unfortunately probably a little more of a woke-ish crowd. So I'll probably have to be a little more whatever, but just see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, is your
I mean,
goal?
whatever happens,
Is your
happens,
goal
I
to
guess.
find someone this summer?
I'd certainly like to hook up if you find love.
Guy,
no.
girl, does it matter?
Girl.
Girl,
You know what
okay.
I told my buddy? What I told Ty is that like, so the island, the last ferry goes, at 10 or whatever, 11 o'clock at night, whenever that is. And I don't have the money to drink all day, and I don't want to drink all day anymore. So I think my goal is like, I'm gonna go out fucking Friday and Saturday, but I'm not going till that fucking last boat's gone. I want to know that the people in that bar are on the island for the night. Like, I don't need some bullshit of like I start talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I'm going into town" or something.
Well, I gotta go. Sorry.
Right? No, I want to know. I want to limber. I
Dude,
want
those
to narrow
kids-
it down.
Those 20-year-olds are going to want to be drinking nightly.
I know. I can't
They
do
are.
that. I can't do that, man.
Why? You're still young
I
enough
can't
to
do it.
pull that off.
I already thought
He's
like,
gonna be the house dad anyway.
this is what's going to separate
maybe.
me for sure. And I already like for
The
one
gray beard?
Well, lots of stuff. But like a big one will be like when you say drinking, dude. Like I'm not fucking drinking on a school night. Like I gotta wake up at 6 a.m. and like
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. So you're right. If these guys are going out fucking, oh, it's Wednesday night, we're gonna go out to the Pony or whatever. I'm like, I'll see you on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm not happening.
All right, I don't know if that's great,
Well,
but
I'm not saying it will never happen, but it's not gonna
We'll
be
see.
like
You're
it
gonna
would-
have to do something to stand out, right? All these
Yeah.
other douchebags out there just broing
Yeah.
it up, out there ripping it
well,
up.
he's
Everybody's-
dressing like him. He's doing facial hair like him.
There's gonna be
He's
something.
gonna look like an imposter.
He's gonna
I
create an air of intrigue.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be crazy. I don't know. I'm very excited though. Something I've wanted to do pretty much my whole life probably.
Nice.
So
You think your hostels have prepared you properly for having roommates?
I am very glad I did hostels now because I read in my thing it's going to be a full house, which means I will have roommates. So I'll have at least 1 to 2 other people sleeping in a room. And you're right. Honestly, I'm glad I did hostels and got that out of the way. Even
Yeah.
with the guys in the beginning of the trip. Like last year, spending a lot of time sleeping with other people in the same room was
Yeah.
very good for me probably now.
Sure.
If I had not done that, and then because I never went to college and was in a dorm,
Yeah.
or anything.
God, it's hot as balls in here.
Yeah, we tried. We opened up. the
Michael, if
windows.
you don't mind, by the way, if I could throw a cheap plug to the Big E Comedy Venture podcast,
Sure.
which will still be going on. Amy and me will be doing it throughout the trip up in Mackinac. So if you want to see or listen to what my experience is like up there weekly, it's on the Spotify
Amy and I.
and iTunes. What's up?
Amy
Did I
and
say
I.
Amy and I?
You
You said Amy and me.
Oh, okay.
It is Amy
Well,
and
at least
I was
put her-
going to correct him, but
at least I put her name first.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
I and Amy would be weird as shit.
yeah.
Well, me and Amy, I guess I could have
Right.
said, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's out
Did
there.
you see? We'll get to her in a minute because
I did see that.
She made the fucking papers today.
And it's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. We'll get to that. But I was even more intrigued with Elon Musk and his interview with a BBC reporter.
Big black cock.
Great,
today.
dude.
It is great.
It's so great.
I
Have you
saw
seen it yet, or-
I did. I didn't know
Okay.
we were gonna do. I just came across it. Gross.
Yeah.
A little while ago. I was like, I fucking love this.
I was
dude,
going to
man.
show it to Mike when I came in here. Because I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, how
as
is he
if
not
I'm going to
fucking-
miss this.
Right.
But if you didn't, I mean, first off, it's worth a second listen if you did hear it. It's that good. So I go ahead and pull it up, and we can discuss afterwards. But he asked the question. We've spoken to people very recently who are involved in moderation, which is like if you're in moderation, you're just an asshole. I'm sorry. You just are. You think you're better than everybody. You think you have the world's answers, and you don't. There's nuance to everything. And so by being a moderation person, you're just a piece of shit. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Wait a minute, just real quick. Are you talking about like people that practice moderation?
Or-
No,
Are you
no,
talking
no,
about like
I'm
a
talking
moderator?
Moderator
Oh,
on.
okay.
I
I'm
was
so
getting
sorry.
a little confused by that myself.
I was like,
no,
dude, are you
I
talking
don't-
about that someone?
Fuck moderation. Like,
No, no,
I
no.
expect nothing less from you.
How
Yeah.
dare you be able to eat carbs at a reasonable rate or whatever?
No. I mean like content moderation.
Yeah, okay.
Someone that's going to come in and be the ultimate referee about what's allowed and
Absolutely.
acceptable. Fuck those people. No, drinking in moderation, drugging in moderation, everything. Sure. I mean, the Goldie and the Three Bears taught us everything we need to know.
Absolutely.
You know? This one's too hot. This one's too cold. This one's just right. Take that concept with your drinking, your drugging, and all that. Easier said than done
Much
for some of us.
yes,
but, it is. Everything in moderation, they'll tell you. And as you get older, that becomes more and more true.
God, my dad
Including
hammered that
moderation.
home to me my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking since 7.
Life isn't fair. My dad used to hammer that home. Life isn't fair. Okay.
Moderation was
Fucking right, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was 100% right, but it's still like, well, you're still a dick for saying it. Doesn't mean you get to be unfair.
True.
Well, life isn't fair.
That is true. No, that was my dad's thing since I was like 7, dude. He'd be,
Really? Everything in moderation?
He'd be just bad, and he would just say it all. I mean, he's right, but all the time.
What were you doing? I mean,
I don't even know
Jerking
if
off?
you were doing anything. No,
Jerking
back
off,
then,
yeah.
like, I'm literally talking.
You got to moderate that stuff, son.
I'm
You gotta
talking
pull
we're
it off.
10 years old and we're eating spaghetti or something. And he would just say it at the dinner table. Like, it wasn't even like a...
that was his go-to.
Yeah,
All
go-to
right.
for sure.
All right, so Elon Musk is talking to what's his name? We should give him credit.
Clayton.
Clayton, the journalist, James Clayton, BBC Big Black Cock U.S. tech reporter, James Clayton. Is this something you want to address? I thought this was great, and it's
He handles himself so well.
it's great.
It's-
Let's watch
I would say
it
this is the
first.
best I've ever seen him.
I just mean, I mean in general. I mean, he's generally very controlled, very calculated in what he says.
Yep.
He's very thoughtful in his words, and comes across kind of weird sometimes, like the pauses that he has.
Yeah.
Almost awkwardly long pauses sometimes, but that's
Well-
him processing the words.
Yep. We'll explain after we watch this clip about what happened and why you don't see more of this, okay? But for right now, let's watch Elon Musk with, again, James Clayton from the BBC US Tech.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm just curious. I'm
Yes,
trying
you
to
are.
understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually,
you've-
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang
my,
on a
my
second.
following.
You said you've
my
seen
following.
more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
You can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
really.
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
That's false.
no. What I
You
claim,
just lied.
What I claim was there are many organisations that say that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my
Give me
feed
one
or
example.
not,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
right. And
Literally
if you
can't
look at
name
something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they will say that. So
They will say-
Look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a
Right.
single example. And you can't name one.
Right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know this hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We have
let's move on.
Stop making me look like a dick.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's just move on.
And there is society in a microcosm right there.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. That
There's-
is the Cliff Notes version of society today.
That right there, what you see right there is a very specific example about why it's so important when someone you disagree with is going to speak at a college campus. And instead of engage with that person, you shout them down. You don't let them engage. You don't have the conversation. You've put yourself in a position where you're above that, where, oh, this person is so racist. Name the person. Elon Musk is alt-right now because we disagree with him on something. That's an example of why those people do that, because they don't have an argument that works.
There's no evidence.
Nothing.
There's no examples.
We've been saying it forever. Like, what's your definition? It's just basically words that I find personally offensive. Okay, so then the next logical question is, okay, who's the referee? Who's the arbiter of what passes muster? Because what's offensive to a nun is a lot different to something that's going to offend the guys in Legion of Skanks podcast, right? Like, we're all in this together, and in this country, at least, when you say free speech, that's what it means.
It means something.
It means something. It means that you don't, unfortunately, you're going to bump into shit from time to time that you vehemently disagree with. That's just the way it has to go.
Yeah.
And
you're welcome
so,
to just shut the fuck up and walk on by.
Right. It's
That's
the
totally
old
acceptable these
Ricky
days.
Gervais bit. But I didn't want guitar lessons.
Right.
Call up the guy. I didn't want guitar. Like, I just posted fucking an ad offering guitar lessons. It doesn't mean if you don't want guitar lessons, you call him up and scream at him about it.
Exactly.
I'm butchering his joke, but
The premise is there.
The premise was there. It's a brilliant take by Ricky Gervais.
Yep.
But this is an overall example. This is what, when you see people screaming at each other on different sides of Twitter, most people don't get to sit down in a controlled thing like this. And what he did that was genius here, Elon Musk, said that this goes out live on Twitter. So he wasn't able to just cut this 2 minutes of content out and go, I don't know, we talked about tech stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
We just talked about
Yep.
AI and stuff.
There's a couple spots where I can get my point across. And
Yeah, he wasn't able to take editorial license in this content. It's what smart people do this, and I'm trying. Elon Musk, I think I'm trying to think of other people that have done this, where it's like, oh no, I'm going to bring my own camera crew too. So I'm going to film that. Donald Trump has done this. Donald Trump, when he does 60 Minutes or something.
So I'll have raw footage as well.
Yes. So when you come out, which I know you will, and you take me out of context, and you have me answering, where I answered this question, but you're going to tie that answer to a different question and make me look like an asshole, I'm going to have the raw footage of it.
Yep.
So be careful what you do with that.
Exactly.
So, we take great pride whenever we do an interview here. We never take anyone out of context. It's never happened once. Easiest shit to do. It's never happened. If someone beats us in an argument, okay, well, live and learn.
That's
whatever.
the point of an argument.
Yeah, you're not going to win them all.
Nope.
But this guy came off like an absolute fucking clown.
Yeah.
How dare you go up against Chief Twit? You go into his world, do an interview with him, and you're going to bring that. He literally spent $44 billion to buy the company to rid this shit that we've been dealing with.
Yeah.
Right? All the people that have an inappropriate joke, or, really the last straw was the Babylon Bee making the Man of the Year joke at what's his fuck?
Rick Levine.
Yeah, Rick Levine. Rachel Levine.
Oops.
Oh, want a dead name, old Rick. Which was a funny, mildly funny and clever, if nothing more. But it should have just gone by the wayside. If no one makes a big stink about it, he probably doesn't buy Twitter.
Right.
And it was just the last straw.
Yeah.
It's not like just because of the Babylon Bee.
No, exactly.
He did that, but that's a prime example right there of why does Steven Crowder win every time he does one of his Change My Mind segments? Because he's prepared for that debate, and these fucking morons who have gotten no pushback from a college professor or a classmate thinks they've got it all buttoned up and they're ready to go.
They think their feelings matter.
Yeah.
They think their feelings will hold up in a debate.
Right. And when reality punches them in the face in that moment, they usually start shouting down, name calling, that kind of thing. But that's a prime example about why that's so important to do when a college guy comes onto your college campus, or a comedian is performing at your college or wherever, and you get that attitude of just shout them down, shout them down.
And this idiot, he came at it saying, I've seen it. It's, being very first person in this. He didn't come at it in the beginning going, well, reports are showing that hate speech is on the rise.
Right.
Which everybody's saying that.
He said he saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he said he hadn't been there for months.
Yeah, and then use him much and all this stuff. I mean, and Elon handles him like a fucking 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, just owns him.
And to say when someone is slightly sexist, did he
Yeah,
say? Slightly
something. Something is
like really. Someone goes, "Nice ass on that chick in the picture, huh?" Like you want that guy banned? Of
course.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because when you say slightly sexist, slightly misogynistic, slightly racist, like okay, fine. Let's play your argument out
Yeah.
here about why that's hateful
I
content
say slightly
that needs to be
racist stuff
banned.
all the time.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But it's all in jest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Slightly, I say slightly everything.
Yes.
Because it's all in jest.
Slightly misogynistic can be funny. Slightly
Absolutely.
sexist can be funny. Slightly racist can be funny.
Yep. You know what's not funny? Slightly funny.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Some people took issue with this too, Twitter users, of course. One would imagine if you're going to tackle one of the brightest people on the planet about a company he's recently bought, that you'd come into the discussion at least semi-prepared. What a car wreck of an interview. Another person says, this conversation between Elon and BBC journalists is hilarious. Trigonometry. Note how quickly these narratives collapse when released into the real world.
Yeah.
Legacy media is incapable of defining hate speech. The left's definition essentially boils down to speech we don't like. As a result, the press's only course of action is to cite so-called experts on the topic as proof that harmful rhetoric is increasing. So it should be noted, and I mentioned it, Musk insisted this interview be allowed to air in full on Twitter Spaces. Thank God he did. We wouldn't have had this. We wouldn't have had
And
this.
I wouldn't have seen this. I mean, you did the story, but aside from this, that someone specifically shared it on Facebook was the only reason that I saw it.
It's hitting the papers now and in
Yeah.
the sites I was reading. But
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah, your sites. Yeah, of course.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, man, I read the New York Times and the Washington Post too.
I understand. But yeah, my point was that I don't frequent those sites.
Yeah.
I mean, and not even as a jab. I don't get a lot of news. And I just don't subscribe to it. I stay out of it. Major shit I'll find out about, whatever. But I just don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
But so had that not come across, I would have never even seen it. I wouldn't know anything about it.
It's interesting to see what happens because it's a pride swallowing exercise in order to go, shit, I just got my dick kicked in right there. And I did not have a valid argument that would hold up under any sort of critique. You can learn from that. It's very, very hard to do. Most of us, we don't like being wrong. We don't like losing arguments. I don't care who it's with. If it's with an idiot, if it's with your wife, if it's with your husband, none of us like losing an argument. In that moment, that guy, what's going through his mind right now is, holy shit, I don't have editorial control over this because this is live.
Yep.
And I just came into something and got my fucking teeth kicked in. It's interesting.
Let's move on. We're not getting anywhere with this. Let's change the subject.
Yeah. And Elon should have pressed it even further, in my opinion. Why not?
Exactly.
You've got one of these wiggle worms on the line,
Yep.
and he can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag in this instance.
Yeah. But he proved
this
his
is
point.
what happened.
Anything more than that, he probably would have come across as bullying.
He's bullying.
Right.
Good.
Even when you're right.
This reminds me a lot of Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin is a gay guy conservative who does the Rubin Report. It's a great 30-minute podcast daily. And he was a super leftist, okay? California leftist gay guy. And he had Larry Elder in. And he's talked about this a lot. I'm not breaking any news here. But he talks about the day his entire leftist narrative crumbled to pieces. And it's when he talked to Larry Elder, who's a very, very fucking smart black guy. And he started this
The blackface
conversation.
of white supremacy.
Blackface of white supremacy, according to the LA Times. You're absolutely right. Larry, he said to Larry
amazing.
Elder.
I know, that was great.
It's fucking
That was great.
That's the best title. I'd have that on a placard on my desk.
Yeah, he should. But he said to Larry Elder something about, racism and, it's rampant with racist, blah, blah, blah. And he went, okay, give me an example of this racism that you're seeing everywhere. Because I'm a black guy.
You're being told this.
Yeah. And he was like, well, I mean, there's a need for Black Lives Matter. And he's like, why? Where? What laws are holding black people back? This went on for about 15 minutes. I encourage all of you to go watch it. Larry Elder and Dave Rubin. And you literally see the face of Dave Rubin change. Overnight, he loses everything. And, some people would go, oh, that's a grift. You switch sides. Well, no.
You're allowed to change your mind.
Or you just woke up to the reality that
Yeah.
you've been lied to
An
on a
epiphany.
lot of things. Yes, your narrative, what you thought was reality, folded. And, You know, the same thing is happening right now with Michael Schellenberger, who was the great author of San Francisco. He's a super libtard from Northern California. He's a journalist. He's one of the three with Barry Weiss and Matt Taibbi on the Twitter files.
Oh, yeah.
And so you've got all these guys that are traditionally on the super left. And he was talking to Rogan, and he's like, the whole thing folded. When I saw behind the scenes on the Twitter files about these major media corporations working in concert with the federal government, the audacity of these people, the fucking gall of these people, the absurd level of entitlement that they had, and just like, ban this guy, ban that guy. And he's like, it was exclusively on one side.
Oh, yeah.
You could find an example here or there of someone trying to, but overwhelmingly it spoke to one side. And literally in the last couple of weeks, his whole narrative folded. And it's like, yeah, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Welcome to the non-indoctrination of
That's been the
what's
issue all
going on in the
along,
world.
is that they're just threats and accusations, but with no basis behind them, no facts, no evidence to defend these things. They just say this stuff, put it out into the ethos, and that's good enough. Like, and then finally somebody like that is able to push back, and it's non-fuckable because he made it go live on Twitter.
Yep.
So you couldn't edit it, you couldn't bury it, you couldn't manipulate it.
Yeah.
So, but way too often that's what happens. People just say something, you don't have to prove it, you don't have to back it up.
Yeah.
You just have to say it, and that's enough. And then too many fucking moron sheep just believe it without doing any research. I'm not saying it's all bullshit, but most of it is.
I went to when I was staying in Arizona, I went to, and I've told you guys about this, I believe, but I went to G's neighbor, and the warden's neighbor has a nice pool, and a couple kids in college, nice couple, and they invited us over for drinks and food and swimming and whatnot. And so we went over there one day, and these are like, they're from like Denmark or something. They're not even America. They're immigrants, but they're hardcore lefties. Hardcore, which is just perfect for the warden. And I sat at this table, and this is where part of the problem lies, why people can get away with it for so long. They were spitting such fucking nonsense at this table, and I just sat there and took it. Wasn't worth it for me to call them on it. When they're making bold statements about Tucker Carlson or Fox News, and I, in 3 sentences I could destroy their whole argument, and I knew that, and I was like, not worth it. I don't care. I'm not on a mic right now. It's not worth it to go in and go, well, explain to me all these examples you're talking about how this is hurting democracy or whatever. Give me one, because obviously you're watching enough Tucker Carlson to know what these are. So please, the floor is yours. I'm all ears. I'd love to hear it. And I knew they wouldn't have a fucking argument back for that. They wouldn't be able to discuss it. And I think that's where a lot
Why does he need the January 6th tape? Huh?
Yeah.
Answer me that.
Yeah.
Justice, that's why.
But people like in polite company it's not worth it. If we're in here, that's one thing. You and I got into it with Raj pretty hardcore about First Amendment shit.
Yeah.
And I'd say kick the shit out of him in that discussion. And I had enough people back that up too. Like, yeah, you guys really went kind of hard in the paint at him. It was like, well, he
gave him every
kept pushing,
opportunity, yeah.
and we kicked his fucking teeth in. I'm sure he would see it differently, but he lost. But if I was just out at a restaurant with a few couples or whatever, and they started, because they're the ones that'll pop off the most. And we even said that to him. Do you feel 100% comfortable in anything you want to say on social media? He was like, well, absolutely. I was like,
oh, well, that must be nice.
That
must
answers
be
the
nice.
question.
That must be
fuckface.
really nice, dude.
You realize the other half worries about their fucking job being taken from them.
What did he say to that, man?
Nothing. He didn't have anything.
Well,
for
you
that.
know what he'd say?
Well,
Good, fine.
actions have
Yeah.
consequences.
Actions have consequences.
Yeah, he did say something stupid like that. I'm like, oh, so only half the country's actions should have consequences?
Yeah,
You
if
should
your
just,
opinion's wrong.
yeah.
Well, think about that.
Dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Think about this. Like, what's funny is like, you've asked me before. I haven't said what my job is on Mackinac Island. I don't know that I'm going to tell the people I work with that I do podcasts. And you know why? You know why?
Fear. Yeah, of
worth it.
course.
And it's like they don't fucking have that fear, right?
Hell no.
And it's like that's fucking crazy because I am. Whenever I'm in here, regularly I get yelled at for being the leftist person in this room.
Yeah.
And yet these people, if they somehow stumbled upon I can make one statement or some bullshit.
You made some comparison to Marcel the monkey on Friends with black people.
Woo, boy, that one.
Remember that one?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you went for the joke. You went for the joke.
I know. Yeah,
Proud of you.
you're right though. You're
I
right.
was proud of you too.
And they would fucking decide
That would be enough.
Yeah, that'd be
You're
absolutely.
probably going to be safe on
realize-
Mackinac Island, though.
What's up?
You'll probably be safe
Maybe.
on Mackinac Island.
Young kid. I saw
Young
some of the young
kids?
profiles. I saw some of their.
Did you see a lot of pronouns in
there
their
was
fucking
There was a
names?
Black Lives Matter profile on there.
Yeah.
So that person's not going to let me fucking say anything.
And is it worth it to
Fuck no.
Is it worth it sitting down with someone with a Black Lives Matter in their profile? Is it worth it to challenge them and go, you realize this is a fucking corrupt organization, right?
So, Patrice Cullors, huh?
Yeah,
Right,
let's
right.
talk Patrice Cullors and the
I know.
trans movement.
I know. Fuck
Go.
no. Of course it's not worth it.
Of course it's not worth it.
Of course it's not. But I'm not trying to just bring it, but that's an example of literally, technically, I want to I just want to do my thing, man. I just want to have a fun job I've always wanted to do. And I can't tell people that I've or don't want to tell people I've done comedy, that I've worked on podcasts, that I've done all this shit because I don't fucking want them digging into shit.
Yeah.
So fucking just know me for this and that's it, man. That's good
Take
enough.
a bunch of stickers up there and just start fucking stacking them on stuff for your
Right.
Big E's comedy venture.
Right.
And TDC Podcast.
One
of
more
course.
thing, Mike, too, I was going to say is, but to your kind of story there about those guys, about those guys that you sat down with, I've told this before. It was 2 or 3 years ago, but I was on the
comics.
No, I was on the boat with the Kennedys and some other people one time, and there was a person on the boat that I don't even know who it is, and they were going on about what Trump and shit, right? And I'm like, yeah, the only thing is like, you listen to one channel, you hear this, you listen to the other channel, you hear that, and he goes, I didn't even say I like Trump or anything like that. I just
That was
said,
enough to make
Oh,
him
yeah.
and this,
think
and this,
possibly.
well, no,
he
and this
liked
person
Trump.
goes, well, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, if it's 3 channels to 1, 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
wow, that's
Yeah.
solid, Matt. You're right.
He's going to wake up at some point.
Yeah.
He'll figure it
3
out.
well,
It'll be too late for him, but he'll
Mike,
figure
3
it
to
out at some
1.
point.
That's CNN,
That's-
MSNBC,
Yeah, that's
and
exactly.
ABC to
Yeah.
Fox News.
And
That's 3 to 1.
And that's the reality of what it is. That's why it's an uphill
Because he
battle.
admitted that you could get different
You
stories.
should have said it's
but-
no, sir. It's not 3 to 1. It's 98% to
Right.
2.
Right.
is what it is.
I know.
So if you're comfortable with that, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to too many people, that just means majority rules. The 98%
Yeah.
have to be right, and the other 2 are just the fucking kooky far right.
Yeah.
Fox News's.
It's not the way it works.
No,
it's
it's
not the way it works. We don't live in a democracy where simple, majority rules.
Remember when the good old
And-
days when civil conversation didn't include
You know
politics?
what's funny?
or
My,
religion?
my dad used to say that to me too, growing up. By the way, he used to say
What?
we are not a democracy.
We're not.
We're
We're a republic.
right. And he would
Yeah.
say because he's like, if you just have the
Constitutional
mob,
republic.
10 to 1 just says, hey, we should steal this guy's house.
Yeah.
That's a democracy.
Yeah,
My dad- my
that's
dad
why
used
the
to say that
electoral
one to
college
me.
is so important.
Yeah.
Because if you go back further in time, you would find that simple majority, there were people on the ballot that would have gotten 51% of those people saying, yes, slavery should be legal.
Right.
And thank God for the electoral college.
Yeah, were they
that we're-
elected back then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Back then, 51% would have said slavery stands. And you would have gone, majority rule, what do we
We're a democracy.
do?
What are we gonna
We're
do?
democracy. We're not, though.
Which, by the way, they're not even that because they don't really count the. I mean, even in Trump's situation, assuming Biden really got 81 million or whatever he got,
Sure
Trump
he
got
did.
pretty much close to that though. Like
Yeah.
he got the second highest total of vote.
He got the first highest total outside of Biden's
Yeah.
That's what I'm-
81 million.
That's
I
what
did
I'm.
that in
But that's what
air
I'm saying. So
quotes.
even if you take it at what he got is what they said,
Yeah.
still Trump's was the second highest ever.
Ever.
So it's like
And-
that many people. Are
Dude,
you just,
it should not be lost on people that Obama won in a landslide and got 10 million less votes than the first time he was elected and won in a landslide. Trump got 11 million more than he got the first time and lost.
Well, that doesn't-
that's never happened in the history of this country either. There's a lot of things, but again, this
They
was
stirred the hornet's nest.
This was
Got people out there to vote.
That was just simply an anti-Trump vote, which I fear would happen again anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, Trump, I don't know if you saw it, but he gave an interview to Tucker Carlson last night, which is kind of hilarious. He says that he claimed that when they brought him into the New York court,
Yeah.
that people were crying in there. That cops,
Oh, just like
and people were crying. They were apologizing. I'm so sorry I have to do this to you, sir, Mr. President.
Just like DeSantis came crying to him for his support. That's what he
Oh,
said.
did he?
Trump has said that DeSantis came to him and was down. He was down.
Do you
it was
think
going to
that
be
means
done.
one person in that court, like one woman at the counter, was like a super Trump fan who was
Maybe.
crying, and he's like, people were crying.
I don't even know that she was crying though.
Well, if someone got welled up, I would hope that, now there weren't cameras in there, so there's probably no way to, like, unless someone comes out and goes, yeah, I was the one, I was crying.
I'll tell you this. Maybe there was a person that was a little.
Yeah.
I do not believe there was several people crying.
Of course, he said that the cops and court employees were unbelievably nice. That's, they didn't say anything bad about him. So
Yeah.
to him, they're the greatest people ever.
Exactly.
He was asked about the experience. He called the staff incredible when I went to the courthouse, which is also a prison in a sense. They signed me in. I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there. They have no problems putting in murderers that they see every day. It's tough. But they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry.
fucking
So in
crazy.
one sense, it was beautiful.
What
'cause
did Tucker
they
say?
get it.
Did you watch it or no?
Yeah, I did. I did.
What
I
did
didn't watch
Tucker
all of it, but
I wonder what
Tucker was just lapping it
Tucker,
up.
yeah,
He was lapping it up.
He was.
Yeah.
The funniest part, they start talking about Trump. Trump is trying to make the point that if I was still in charge, Putin would never have invaded Ukraine. Again, something we'd never know for sure. But I like to think that Trump, for all his faults, did a fairly good job of keeping Mexico, China, and Russia at least in their place in the
bit.
moment.
Yeah.
They didn't know if this guy was actually batshit crazy enough to they didn't know. And so they just kind of were like, I don't know how to read this guy. Usually we can read an American politician. This guy, I don't know. And
He
he
tried
was
to
like,
nuke a hurricane or whatever.
dude, remember when he was dealing with not Al-Qaeda, it was Al-Qaeda, hold on.
Okay.
When he was dealing with Al-Qaeda and he was like, we're going to get our people out of here. Everything's to go smoothly. If there's anything that goes on, it'll be your ass, Abdul. It's like, I was talking to Abdul. You all know Abdul. And Abdul, I said, if anything goes wrong, it's your ass, Abdul. And then Abdul came back to me and said, why did you just send me a picture of my house? And he said, you can figure it out. I said, you can figure it out, Abdul. And then he goes, one thing they would not be saying is they're talking about nuclear. They're talking about nuclear war. Russia has as many nukes as we do. He said, there's two N-words you can't say. We all know what they are. You can't say the N-word. You know that one. And under any circumstance. And then nuclear. You can't say that N-word either. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're fucking killing
As
me.
he's saying nuclear.
Yeah.
You can't say the N-word nuclear.
He made us all think of, he's talking about that word. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like all of us are like, oh, N-I-G-G-E. He's saying that word.
Yeah.
He's making us think it right. We all know there was one N-word none of us are allowed to say. The other N-word we're not allowed to say is nuclear. Under any circumstance, nuclear.
Could you imagine if he dropped the real N-bomb? The other one we can't say is...
Yes. I mean, like, those people can say it, but some of us can't. It's not fair. It was killing me, though. By the way, speaking of N-words, wasn't there supposedly, like, this amazing videotape of him on The Apprentice behind the scenes dropping N-bombs?
I
that
remember
Tom
that,
Arnold said he had.
Yes, Tom Arnold said it. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I don't remember where it went.
Did we
I
interview
never-
Tom about that?
No, I don't think. I think it had happened yet. Probably.
Yeah.
We did interview him, though, didn't we?
Yeah, we had him on, but I just don't
Yeah.
think that
That
I don't
hadn't
think that
happened
was,
yet?
Yeah, I don't.
I think
so.
he got super into that, like, anti-Trump world.
Yeah, he
No,
did.
yeah, he was like
Yeah.
he kept teasing it, but he didn't have it. Remember, he kept saying in interviews
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's coming out, it's coming," and then never did.
And then it was, who made that show? Burnett? What the fuck's his
AJ?
name? No. Burnett.
Carol?
No, not Carol. Anyway, it was the executive producer and creator of The Apprentice and many, many, many of those types of shows. Mark Burnett. Survivor, I think he did. And they were like, we need to get the raw footage from Mark Burnett. And Burnett was like, yeah, go fuck yourself. You're not going just cutting through all my shit looking for...
Yeah.
And so some people are like, ooh, he's hiding the N-word tape. And
you
it's
know the
like,
funny thing
oh.
is, it never came out. Obviously,
No,
so,
and you would think with everybody that would have it, somewhere it would come
it
out.
would've, of course. Just like the hookers pissing on him and shit or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That was, you'd think that was fucking,
Germaphobe, letting hookers piss all
yeah,
over.
that
Sure.
you'd think that was just absolute. There was no question about it that
Yeah.
existed.
Yeah.
Hey, when you support our sponsors, you support TDC, and we appreciate that more than you know. So if you are in the market for something new or pre-loved, or if you just want to sell your car, please give our friends at Zott a shot. They've been with us since the beginning, and they love taking care of you. I love it's all caps. You get out there today and lease a new 22 Bronco Sport Big Bend all-wheel drive as low as $298 a month, or buy the damn thing for 1.9% financing for 72 months. Or stop by Zott and lease a 22 Explorer XLT four-wheel drive as low as $282 a month, or buy that cheeky bastard for 1.9% financing for 72 months. Finally, go lease a 22 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT 4x4 for $244 a month or lower. That's right, lower. You could actually qualify to save another $20 to $50 a month through a Ford private offer. You got to call Anthony or Gabar and see if you are eligible and qualify. Plus, you can buy this bad boy for 2.9% financing for 72 months as well. Get details and search Zott Ford's banging inventory at dealsinthed.com.
Howard Stern back in the news.
Oh, is he running?
Of course.
Did he throw his hat in the ring? Is he running?
Not yet. I'm sure he will.
Oh, God, let's hope.
Trump runs. Isn't that what his threat has been? If Trump runs, that he would have to run because obviously he'd win.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? As dumb as this country is, and it is dumb,
It's stupid.
they're not stupid enough to vote for Howard Stern.
Some will.
So, oh yeah,
Baba
a lot of
boy!
people will. A lot of people will, but no, he would not.
He would have had a better chance at 15 years ago, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
maybe.
where he could have is if he would have run for some sort of local office in New York.
Okay, yeah.
He probably could have pulled that. The rest of the country would not have voted for Howard
yeah,
Stern.
that's
fucking
fine.
way.
There's too much fucking tape on him.
He just can't figure out for the life. He's
The
dumb.
guy who said the N-word, but no, he has said the N-word, by the way. But that's a, but,
and
you know.
like full blackface,
Right,
like
he has said it, and yet
like full
you know,
ER. There's more clips today going around. Remember when he did this and he had a game board set up of like kike and Jews and the N-word, like all of them. It was like he had a Klansman come out with his full robe and hood on and put these in order of like worst.
you can like listen to
and
YouTube.
like gay guy or whatever was in there. And
I think you can go on YouTube clips, by the way, where randomly some person will call in and, you know, they'll obviously say whatever to the screener, and then they'll start to ask him about some of that shit, and he'll just get livid.
oh yeah,
Like, he'll just get, and yet he's judging everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, someone will be like, hey, what about the time you said this? And he'll just fucking start yelling at, I never said that.
yeah,
Yeah, you
he's said it all, and I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
The only
Just
problem,
don't act like you didn't.
yeah, don't act like you didn't, and don't shame everybody else for having an opinion that's not even close to as wild as he got.
Right.
Not even close, right? Like if you just have a take, if you have an opinion, first off, the guy's made his living on opinions, so you would think he would understand other people's opinions a little more. But this idea that you're dumbfounded, why would Kid Rock be upset? Robin, I don't know why would Kid Rock be upset about Bud Light? Like he gets all worked up about that.
What is this? You know what's funny? I know I never really listen. I'm just curious if I don't know that you listen at all anymore.
Never.
Okay.
I've never listened.
Okay,
to Howard.
okay.
I mean, I did in Arizona with G from
Yeah.
time to time because G will listen to it.
I'm just
but-
curious, honestly, what his actual show is even like. We all know he does the interviews. He'll have Green Day on.
Yeah.
What is his actual show anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Is it
That's
just
it.
him? Okay.
I think it's
And
big interviews.
He's still big enough that everybody will do it.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
it's like so he does do just has moments where he is shooting the shit, quote unquote. I guess still. Like,
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I shouldn't even say yes. I don't.
I know, but- and it's
I've
like-
never listened.
I don't
to
even
him.
know-
I've never found him that good, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
At
I'm
times,
just gonna go ahead and say his ego is too big for him not to just rant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On some level of that,
Right.
you know, he'll have people
right,
in, he'll
Robin.
do it.
Yes.
but
I would
that-
be interested
That can't be the entire show
listening
because
to
it
an
has to
episode.
be mostly about him.
Right, of course.
It is. So he's talking about obviously the Dylan Mulvaney dust up with Kid Rock shooting a
Ooh,
Bud
dust
Light
up. I see
can.
what you did there.
I thought there might be a piece of this story that I'm missing, Stern said. I'm not bothered by gay people or transsexual people. They don't impact my life. They don't hurt my life. I love when people are in love. You want to be a woman? Be a woman. You want to be a dude? Be a dude. Be whatever you fucking want. As long as you ain't hurting anybody, I'm on your team. Okay, I got a news flash for you, Howard. That's how the vast, vast, vast majority of us feel. Right? I don't give a shit what you are. You're saying the same thing Kid Rock would say. Kid Rock would say the same thing. Kid Rock is not coming out and going, I wish all trans people would fucking die. No.
What a Kid Rock impression.
Better than yours.
That's true. That's true. Damn you.
You know, this idea of if you're not hurting anybody, I'm on your team. Well, what if someone goes, okay, in the way the society is moving down the road, what if some people feel like some of the things they're seeing in their schools, in their neighborhoods, in their TV shows, in their whatever, they feel is harmful, especially to young people, right? I'm not worried about a 30-year-old who wants to transition. Do you, dog? You feel better as a guy? You feel better as a woman? Do you? I don't care. Don't fucking think you're better than people for that. You're not. But you're entitled to be that. He went on to say he wished he could invite Kid Rock on his show. He can.
Mm-hmm. And Kid Rock would do it, wouldn't he?
Of course, Kid Rock's been on his show 100 times.
That's what I'm going to say. Like, he would take that up. If he said, hey, let's talk this out, I'm sure he would.
He wants to ask Kid Rock why he's so upset and hurt by the campaign. Kid Rock, I know him. He's got a great life. He transitioned from some kid in Michigan to a rock superstar. I'm dumbfounded by why someone would care so much.
Everybody's done that. I mean, not necessarily just from Michigan.
I get it, but...
Yeah.
I don't know why he would blow up a can of Bud Light and say, fuck Anheuser-Busch. I just don't get it. You don't want to get it, Howard. You don't want to hear the other argument.
You could give me a break. I wish we could have him on. You're fucking...
You have his
Howard
number.
Stern. Yes.
You could pick up your phone right now, Howard, and fucking call him.
Right.
I bet you he's in your phone.
I am sure of it.
Right.
or a producer's phone at the least.
There was any way possible.
Yeah, I only have a massive platform.
Right.
Yeah. How could I just wish I could talk to Kid Rock and really hammer this out.
For these people like Howard Stern or, even some of our listeners, I see some of the things they post and they think Kid Rock's out of line or whatever, and they probably think our attitude is antiquated anyways. But don't you think it's a little fishy that people that are historically don't care about anything like that? Like, I can laugh at some things gay people do. Some of it's quite fucking funny. Honestly, I've seen gay parades. They're quite hilarious at times. Mm-hmm. If that can't be laughed at, I don't know what to tell you. Some of the trans stuff is funny. Some straight white guy shit is funny. But don't you think it's a little weird that all these people like Kid Rock, would come out, people who are like, live and let live, you do you, thinks Bill Clinton is a motherfucking pimp for getting blown at the White House.
Right.
That's Kid Rock's attitude. Mm-hmm. You do you, let me do me, this is a great country, freedom for all, hot dogs and beer. That's been Kid Rock's message for 30 years. Why would Kid Rock all of a sudden turn into some crazy person who's against everything, and Howard is just dumb fight kid.
I know you're reading that. I wonder what Robin said, because you're just reading it. I'd like to actually know. I'd love to hear
Howard. I'm sure just a bunch of assholes.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Here's part of it. Okay, Budweiser for many, many years was just, it was kind of the frat beer. It was kind of the all-American beer, whether it was regular Budweiser. You saw it at ball games. You saw it at stadiums. Their commercials a lot of times were unique and creative. And then when the internet came about, there's a commercial. Someone sent it to me. I should give credit because I forgot about this ad. But I do want to give credit to listeners when they do that. Dave, I won't say last names, but Dave sent me this and was like, remember this one. And I do remember this ad. It's the Bud Light in the can.
Oh yeah.
One for Bud Light Lime when it finally was introduced in cans instead of just bottles. And I believe this commercial, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't do any research. I'm almost positive this commercial never aired on TV.
Really?
This was strictly an internet ad, I believe.
Okay.
But it shows you like where Budweiser was a few years ago. And what they've branded over the decades. So what most of us would think of as like, oh, that's a creative, funny commercial. That's great. I get it. You're trying to pitch something I'd never be interested in, Bud Light Lime, but whatever. You want to play the ad, Isis?
I'll have to watch this and see if I felt like I saw it on TV or just on the internet.
Banned commercial.
I got it in the can for the first time last night. I loved it.
I never thought I'd enjoy getting it in the can as much as I do. I was wrong.
I gave it to my boss in the can.
Right after this game, I'm getting it in the can.
I've only had it in the can once, but I'm definitely getting it in the can again.
I've been giving it to everyone in the can all week.
I'm gonna get it in the can in about 5 minutes.
I've lost track how many times I've had it in the can.
Who told you I like it in the can?
I didn't expect to get it in the can of the company party, but one thing led to another, and sure enough, there I was, getting it in the can.
Bud Light Lime.
It's funny. It's clever.
It's funny. It's a butt fuck joke.
Yes.
It's a butt fuck joke.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what that is. If for those that aren't aware, in the can is another way of saying fuck her in the ass, fuck him in the ass, whatever. Getting it in the can.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see where they had branded themselves. That's potty humor.
Yeah.
That's
fratty.
Fratty.
Yeah.
That's people who are out of touch with their humor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they made their fucking bones on.
They've made
is
this bed.
those people.
Now they don't want to lay it.
Yeah. Now they want to act like what? What, us?
Yeah.
No. We're all about guys saying they're girls and girls saying they're guys and deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
speaking of getting in the can,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what people remember.
I would ask you this though, just as a kind of a mild counterpoint. Like, you're allowed to change a thought process. So in your mind, if they wanted to let people know that Budweiser is changing, how would it be acceptable for you?
Straight rainbow can.
Just,
No, I'm just kidding.
you know what I mean though? Like they're allowed to say, we thought that before. We're moving away from that.
Here's what I think, E. I think this is a desperate move by a beer company that's still number one, but when the mountain's crumbling. Howard Stern is number one in markets, right? If you think podcasts are not cruising past Howard Stern, you're wrong. So what was a mainstay, number one, unequivocal for 30 years is being pushed off that mountain.
I get that.
For them, what I don't like about this, that's funny humor. Some people would obviously take offense to that. You'd hear from them, and we would make fun of those people. Like, lighten up.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ass fuck joke. I get it. They only put it on the internet. Relax. You'll be okay. By dipping their toe into something as absolutely splitting the nation controversial as that, I feel like you're doing that on purpose. I don't think Bud Light is like, ooh, the trans community is our new customer. But they're trying to push this agenda that we're seeing lots of all-American mainstream companies push. They're pushing a narrative that a lot of people are very, very uncomfortable with, and they don't know where that line is anymore. Like, since when? We all understood drag queens. It's probably a drug-filled community in a lot of respects, no offense. Lots of titty bars are the same way, no offense. We've seen it. I've been there for it. The drag dancer you had that video of was very open about the open sex, the promiscuousness, the drug use that goes on. Let's not fool ourselves. This is flat out adult entertainment across the board. Mm-hmm. And it's dipped in a lot of gay aspects, okay? That's the reality.
But
so for them, I don't know why.
What would your solution be? If let's just say they just had a commercial, the cans weren't anything, there just happened to be two guys holding hands in a commercial. It would go viral at this point. Oh, but why would you?
Would two guys? If you just had random couples holding hands, I wouldn't have a problem with that. No,
you wouldn't come out and say the same stuff you're saying now.
Not now.
No.
Would you have an issue with that 8 years ago?
No, I wouldn't.
Well,
I wouldn't. No,
but would you still say, like when you say McDonald's, stay in your lane?
Then what's your issue now?
What do you mean?
Curious.
Oh, because I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous for kids to go down this road.
But hold on. But this is also an alcoholic beverage that's 21 and up, and it's not being marketed or advertised to kids.
Combine it. They've admitted they're going after the younger generation. They can say that's 21.
Well,
we all know what that means. This idea is being pushed in libraries, in middle schools, elementary schools, high schools. It's being normalized. And I think it's fair for parents who are then treated like shit and like they're intolerant bigots if they have an issue with it. It's not even a discussion. You're a bigot. You're a transphobe. No, I have no problem with transgender people. None. At the same time, I have no problem with strippers. Now, if strippers wanted to go to the local elementary school and start twerking for 5-year-olds, I'd have a problem with that too. Would that make me prude? You didn't have a problem with it before? No, I didn't have a problem with trans people or gay people before.
No, looking back at this whole thing now, I honestly don't really get the uproar. I understand the tone-deaf nature on some level of Bud missing their mark,
from your demographic.
You're missing your demographic and all that. But as far as sparking any outrage on this one, I just think it's a swing and a miss. I don't get.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I don't think this is the hill to die on. Right? You want to talk about story hour, drag, that kind of stuff, and the trans push that's being put into kids. Well, Anheuser-Busch is not guilty of that.
Well, don't you?
Well, so no, but hold on, because you specifically, but everyone else that is on this fence, you have to define the line. Right? Because it's either right now, if you have a problem with this, then you have a problem with trans.
The commercial?
Yeah, essentially, listen to me. Because there's nothing wrong with this. Aside from shitty marketing.
Yeah.
And shameless promotion.
There's nothing wrong with it. This doesn't affect children. This isn't crossing any line.
I'll tell you
this isn't doing anything like that. So if this is your line in the sand, then I think you missed your mark here.
No. I'm not missing my mark here, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because there has been a very, very intentional narrative shift in the last couple of years where, we're inviting this to the White House and anybody that disagrees with it is a bigot. Okay, that's not true. I've never had a problem with trans people. I still don't. I get messages from trans listeners who have an absolute problem with this shit. They see it. I'm taking the lot of it. Not the individual Budweiser ad. That they send a specialized can to Dylan Mulvaney.
Right.
I think Dylan Mulvaney is a fucking fraud.
Agree.
And is offensive on every level to women.
Agree.
It's not my fight, whatever. But when you package it with the entire narrative of the government, the education system, work environments, when you package it all and you include children's fucking story hour with drag queens, drag queen classes we're doing for summer camp for elementary school kids to show them how to put on makeup and the clothes. All of that seems very intentional and possibly destructive.
But I would say to Troy's...
And when you're talking about Dylan Mulvaney is taking fucking hormones, altering his body, okay? He's making millions of dollars to do it, and is also having vast plastic surgery on his face. So kids are going to look up to their heroes what do kids look up to? They look up to the 18-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, they're not looking up to us. So we're just old fools to them. But what they're looking up to is, I want to be like Dylan Mulvaney, and I want to make $1 million a year too. And I think I'm trans. That is a very impressionable age you don't fuck with. So all of it together is what I have a problem with. Not the simple Bud Light ad. But I understand, and Bud Light is welcome to their fucking marketing team. They've hired a woke team. This is much bigger than the United States. This is going for 100% score in wokeness. When you're talking about investment firms and global economies, this is much bigger. People here in America have a fucking problem with that, and I understand why. I've never cared if someone's gay or trans. Keep it away from the fucking kids. And this is just, hey, Bud Light's doing it. Hey, the middle school's doing it. Hey, the high school's doing it. Hey, the library's doing it.
That is
hey, the government's doing it. But they're all doing it, and it's being targeted more. How many videos do we have to watch where it's targeted directly to kids?
I understand that, but this is not one of them.
Do you understand my point about the bigger picture of all of it?
Of course,
So for your argument to hold true, do the trans people that have written to me, do they hate the trans? Are they transphobic too?
No. So they're bitching about this.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Yes. The whole thing. I mean, they see
the
whole thing like I do.
Okay, so that's the point that you're missing.
I understand your point, but you're acting like it's isolated. No, it's not isolated.
You're not understanding my point.
I am understanding your point, but go ahead. Explain it again.
Clearly, you're not.
I am. I have a differing opinion than you.
Because, okay, so then what is acceptable? Zero trans at all?
No.
Well, then tell me. Because what's wrong with this then? If you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth, I understand the big picture. I understand the threat to kids, but you can't take something like this and lump it into there just because it's convenient.
When trans fit what was normal in society, you'd see it in a movie. Hey, Tootsie's on. Hey, fucking bosom buddies. People have been dressing as women for 1,000 years in comedy, in the arts. That stuff's gone on forever, and no one's really had a problem with it. Some religious folks did. I never did.
But you do now.
Yes, because of the overall push that's happened in the last couple of years, where you have something as powerful as social media, that is as dangerous as social media, as dangerous and powerful as your government. When those entities are coming together and pushing this narrative, Black Lives Matter is all about trans.
So then what's acceptable trans for you right now? So what's acceptable?
What was acceptable 10 years ago from trans? It was fine. It fit in a movie. This person's trans. This person's whatever.
Wasn't that to be made fun of usually back then?
I'm asking
Not really.
you.
I mean, maybe. Whatever.
I'm asking you. What is acceptable trans right now for you? What would be allowable?
A TV
what would be
show about
acceptable?
trans people on HBO. They've got one of those right now. Trans whatever with what's his name? That show went off and to rave reviews. I don't care. That's great. Good for you.
Okay.
Good for you. Do your thing. This feels like a marketing push towards younger people in America. That's what it is. That's what I have a problem with. That's what a lot of people have a problem with. And if you just go, wait a minute, how is this helpful for
Bud Light just wants to make money, though. They'll make money however they can do it.
I know.
And so they've always pushed for young people.
I understand my argument is hard because it's in the context of this Bud Light ad. And this Bud Light ad has been going on for 2 weeks. They apparently lost $3 billion last week in market share.
There we go. There's the numbers we were looking for.
Exactly. So, is that going to hold? I doubt it.
No, not forever.
No. And honestly, Troy, I don't have a problem with trans people. I welcome Marina in here when she came in with the Woke Bay. Love talking to her.
I know. It seems like a bit of a double standard at times. Like I understand the threat to the kids, but like I said, it's not. You can't just lump it all together because then your TV show's not okay. Like there has to be. That's my point. Like there's things that are dangerous and there's things that aren't.
What part of it bothers you then? Does any of it bother you?
Of course, the children. Yes, that I have
drag queen story hours.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
and the push on the kids, that kind of thing. But again, this is fucking irrelevant.
Yeah.
A Bud Light ad that was not even like a nationally run commercial. It was this dumb twat on her own fucking Instacunt fucking doing a little self-promotion on it. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like a Bud ad that they ran.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that it's a little carried away.
She hit back, by the way, and made comments too. The reason she was on Rosie O'Donnell's podcast.
Oh, good.
The reason that I think I'm an easy target is because I'm new to this. I think going after a trans woman that's been doing this for like 20 years is a lot more difficult. I think maybe they think there's some sort of chance with me. But what is their goal? These people, they don't understand me, and anything that I do or say then somehow gets taken out of context and is used against me. And it's sad because everything I put out is positive. It's trying to connect with others and maybe don't understand me. It's to make people laugh or to make a kid feel seen. I have no problem with that statement. I think it's bullshit because what you've decided to do in this caricature is to be an absolute mockery to women.
Yeah.
Like, don't expect me not to notice that. Like, I notice what you're doing when you go, oh my God, what's March Madness? I think it has something to do with sports. Like, you're being an asshole at that point. You're not being some progressive trans figure for the community. You look like you're grifting into a multi-million-dollar portfolio by being the most obnoxious. If guys were doing that about women, I don't think it would be well received in public company.
Oh, guys are doing that about women.
Are they? Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's important, and no matter what it is, that you pick your battles. You know, it's like what's the fucking brown kid?
Raj.
No. Well.
See what I did there?
No, the kid that got shot at fucking
Michael Brown.
I kept thinking Marcus in my head. Michael Brown. But that's another example of where, like, you know, that was easy to just jump on board with that and but like that was not the horse to back. Okay,
No.
that was not the pieces didn't fit in there, right? So when you want to jump onto that one, your case falls apart.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of the way I look at this. Like, if you want credibility and you want validity in what you're arguing, and I'm using you as an example. I mean the fucking the greater fucking the people that are squawking.
Yeah.
You know, the Kid Rocks of the world, right? And I understand him being, I mean, he's like I said, he's self-proclaimed fucking Bud Light fucking, you know, endorser.
I think him is more Coors, but or Coors Light. But I know he had a Jim Beam tour and Coors Light. I feel like I see with him, but probably Bud Light too.
Yeah, maybe. I always thought
same
something
thing
with Bud Lights, the fucking tall boys. I always saw them with Bud Lights.
Maybe.
Either way, it's just be careful that you don't lose sight of what you're actually fighting for. That's more my point.
Okay.
That by just lumping everything in, you start to lose your voice, and now you just start sounding like you're just anti-trans because everything trans is just fucked. So keep it out of the schools, keep it that kind of shit, but stay on point because you can't just eliminate all trans.
Well, first off, it's a shit marketing move, and I understand why it's being done. They're not a very relevant beer, and they're not a cool beer, so it's like, oh, let's jump on the cool fucking train. I understand how I come off sometimes sounding like that, but I honestly mean it when I say Kid Rock's never had a problem with anybody. So why would Kid Rock come out this strongly? Why would I come out this strongly? Someone who's never had a problem with any of these people. It's because of the overall thing. And I know it. I wish I could be more like J. Chris Newberg. Like he sees something in a TV show and he just lets it roll. Nothing bothers him. But then at the same time, you don't really have a point on anything. Anything you stand for, right? He just doesn't want to get into it. When I watch a show that I've watched forever, Star Wars, and you go, okay, this is the world they created, and now in one fucking foul swoop, a new crew came in, and now it's this, we've got people in wheelchairs that are Jedis, and you're like, wait, the fuck did you do to this thing? When I watch a show that I've watched forever, you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's like, okay, I know what the deal is. He's going to go into a writer's room at HBO, and he's going to pitch he's going to get into an obnoxious fight with whoever's behind the desk. But now in that writing room is a one-armed girl, another black girl in a wheelchair, a clearly trans person, and then a token stupid white guy. And you're like, where is this in real life? Maybe that shouldn't bother me. Maybe that's shit. But it's like, okay, you've wanted me to notice. I notice.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing. I've watched this shit my whole life, and it's like, okay, there's a very specific thing going on here, and maybe I'm just a dinosaur.
Maybe
we
are on some level.
I don't know.
It's the I don't have a problem with X, but for me, those are always the. It's like I don't have anything against black people, but it's.
Let me see if I can find the latest that I got.
I would say, to me personally, like we talk about that with Curb, I just don't get it, why it bothers you so much. I get that trust me, I think you don't realize that, like, it's not like, for me, for example, I don't see the, the shamelessness of it.
Yeah.
But on the same hand, you could argue we had fucking 30, 40, 50 years of TV where basically it was just white people, straight white people. What is the big deal if he has a room and there's some fucking different people in there?
We're getting some TV reparations now.
It just doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, I know. And I opened that statement by saying, I don't know why, and maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I've noticed it. You want me to notice? I notice that anytime you do a fucking security ad, it's the white guy breaking into the black couple's family home. Like, okay, that's done on purpose. We know that forever it's been the stupid white husband. Duh, he can't find a spoon in his own kitchen. Duh. That retard.
Right.
So we all have to, well, we're just stupid white guys. What would we do without a woman in our lives? We're all fucking morons.
So are you saying you're offended by that?
Yes. Yes. I'm saying I notice it. I notice it. I'm not offended. I notice it. You want me to notice? I notice. Here's one from one of our trans listeners. And I went back and forth. I said, I think you have an important voice these days. Thanks, man. Sure. Share away. So I feel I can. It's weird. It not only seems that I don't have a voice anymore, again, from a trans person. I don't have a voice anymore, but the voice I once had is not only wrong, but hateful. Jeez. I'm also very embarrassed about how these clowns are painting a picture of me. I'm kind of beginning to hate this side of me for the first time, too. Thank you, woke fucks. I never had a problem going out as Jasmine before this woke trans shit hit the mainstream. Now I'm kind of apprehensive to go out because I can see myself being labeled as, oh, one of those people, and having this false idea of who I am as a person, thus leading to a bad reaction. Like I said before, I wish I had been born a genetic female. Life doesn't cater to your wishes. I'm just glad I was born with 2 arms and 2 legs. I know someone who wasn't. He fucking deals and is quite happy as I am. So I was born with the XY set of chromosomes instead of the XX set. It doesn't mean I can't enjoy the clothes, fashion, shoes, and hairstyles of women. It doesn't mean I can't enjoy makeup, shave my body hair, and wear perfume. I know a lot of women that don't, to each their own. When I go out as Jasmine, I don't force acceptance. I don't demand respect. I take sneers and laughter as I do compliments. Basically, the same MO as my male self. It's the quality of your character and the way you carry yourself and treat other people that brings you the respect. I'm not out to purposely fool people, put them in uncomfortable situations, call me he or she or weirdo, or call me all 3 at the same time. I don't care. Heck, I even use my male voice when I'm Jasmine. Anything different would make me feel not me. Maybe that doesn't make sense. I don't know. You know that Dylan Mulvaney, just a lady kid, with all the endorsements everyone's up in arms over? I heard some cat recently sum it up perfectly. That guy is basically doing woman face. It's an over-the-top, tasteless caricature of a woman. I don't know any biological woman that acts like that. Seems disrespectful. If you want to see some woke TG people... Transgender people, thank you. Get called out on their crap by someone with logical sense and reason. Check out Blair White on YouTube. She's a trans gal that calls it like it is. I say good day. I said good day, sir.
Yeah, I've always felt bad for the Jasmines of the world that are just getting lumped into this. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They're swept up in this tide, and they're taking the validity away from a lot of it because it's not as valid. It's just not. It's too saturated right now.
I hate feeling this angry, and I don't mean to take that out on you guys in these discussions. I know we're supposed to be light and more comic relief.
It's a discussion.
But, you know, hearing from a lot of people like Jasmine, and it's why that was trending so forcefully. I don't know if that was 2 weekends ago.
The woman face is a great fucking line.
Oh, yeah, it is. LGB without the T. When that was trending hardcore, and it was like, finally... what I was reading, and I've been doing Twitter for years, what I was reading was people that finally felt like, okay, it's safe to fucking say how I really feel. And you do not speak for all of us. Jasmine, I get the impression, does not appreciate all of a sudden his community, however...
Being hijacked.
And like, no, you're making, hold on. Lesbian, gay, bi people are going, motherfucker, no, we do not agree with radical
kicking
surgeries.
That extra letter off the end. Let go of our legs.
We don't think it's smart to give hormones or surgery to children. Are you out of your fucking mind? That's what they were saying. You really want to put on fucking drag queen shows at elementary schools? What's the matter with you? And they don't like that shit being hijacked. It's like, hey, man. And Jasmine and I went back and forth, and she is going, I've never been bullied. Okay, some people snicker as I go by, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you got to expect that. But these people do not speak for me. They don't get to fucking act like assholes and then lump me into it.
Right.
And so for a lot of those people, I feel for them. I feel bad.
We've said that. I mean,
Jasmine's less safe in society because of so many people being ginned up.
Yeah, because of the angst that's being fucking...
Yes.
Yeah. And that we talked about yesterday, I think it was. But in that's part of it is that it's not letting this happen organically at its own pace, at its own time. They're shoving it down your throat, and anytime you do that, people are going to react.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just letting it happen. Like you can't policy away racism. I'm sorry.
Right.
You just can't. It has to die off with all the old fucking racist fucking grandpas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And at what point... Where is the line? You asked me why, Mike, why do you get so offended? Especially E asked me this. Why do you get so offended at blah, blah, blah? It's because I'm looking a little further down the road at like, okay, what you're saying is if this is normalized, that means people coming up behind them are going to push envelopes, which is how you get, like, you don't just get to fuck kids. Minor attracted person comes in first, right? A map. Let's get that out there. Not pedophile bad.
Yeah.
We can't even say that anymore. It's a bigoted word now.
Derogatory term.
It's derogatory. It's offensive to people that are attracted to children. So then you get map. So E, where would you draw the line? Is it something where if people start having the argument, you go, what do you care? You don't have kids. What do you care if guys are fucking children? What do you care?
That's
'Cause that's
different. I would say that's different.
But that's the argument when you're talking about grooming of children or
would
being
be,
worried about
my
that.
line would be things like having little drag queens in schools, things like that. But like I said, like entertainment, TV shows, I don't know, that doesn't seem... It's like, why not?
Well, there's degrees. There's degrees, but if you're trying to normalize
I don't know
something,
where my line is exactly.
That's how you normalize things, though. You understand that, right?
I get it.
Like if you want it, you don't just go one day and go boom. You have to subtly do it. Minor attracted person. Oh, drag queen story. They're just reading to kids. What's
but minor
the harm?
attractive person and freaking adding people to entertainment is not the same thing.
Okay, so there's your line. So until they start fucking children, you're cool with whatever.
And I'm not cool with that, obviously. I'm not cool. Like I just said, I'm not cool with minor attractive person and all this shit. Although, by the way, at one point in society, we thought it was okay to have sex with younger people, and then we decided it wasn't.
Yeah,
so
I understand that their man's arbitrary
and
laws.
just being attracted to somebody's not a crime. It
No,
isn't,
that
once
is
you
also-
start
that's
diddling and fucking
that's
them,
also
that's a
true.
problem.
Yeah.
That's supposedly the differentiation between a map and a pedophile.
But
a pedophile is someone
goes
that
through
actually
with it.
fucked it, and a map is just somebody that jerks off to it.
Yeah.
And by the way, my line would not be okay for the TV show where there was a good character that was banging kids. I'm talking just that you walk into a Larry David room and so there's a black person and a trans person in the creative room.
Yeah.
That's a different line. Like now if all of a sudden Larry David has Curb and there's some dude that openly is talking about fucking 4-year-olds or some shit, and they're just like, yeah, that's him.
Hey, it's art, man.
Then
we're not really doing it. It's just
I would
TV
say,
show.
but that would
just
be,
a TV show.
But that would be different to me than just you. That would be different to me.
So
That's
the
portraying
difference
something-
between our lines is me going, I can see where the grooming of people
But see, grooming of
leads,
people-
hold on, leads to 1 inch closer to a line where you go, uh-oh, that's a line we can't come back from. That is the end of Western civilization.
But based on...
And so for people like me that go, can we pump the brakes a little bit here instead of just... This feels like grooming.
But
Can we
again-
at least have the conversation instead of saying, you can't say the word grooming anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but based on that, like, it's not grooming to have diversity in a TV show.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that.
But you are saying it. You say when you watch these things, you see it going further than I do.
I'm talking about we're talking about two different things. I'm not talking about having a one-armed person in a writer's room. It's going too far. What's next?
But I already
No
said-
arms,
but I
no
already
legs
said-
in the writing room.
But I already said
No.
I disagree with these, again, drag time story, drag whatever person story hour and all that shit. Anything to do with actual kids in an actual real life setting, I'm against.
Yeah.
I'm totally against that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but I think like when it goes over the Bud Light commercial and the TV, you often tend to do that. Like where you say like this commercial, I watched Larry David and this happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's entertainment. That doesn't seem like a big deal to me. And again, they're not until they have Larry David sitting there talking about
believe
fucking
me,
kids.
I'm not saying like I wish we had all white TV like back in the good old days. Football was better in the '60s when only white people played. Like no, obviously
my dad,
I don't
my
feel
dad
that
does
way.
that. My dad mentioned
there was
that. Oh, we got a
white
black guy.
cornerbacks.
We always got to be
Yeah,
these people in
but
it.
Troy and I often will see a fucking white guy playing white. I'd be like, yeah, fuck.
White boy day. White boy day.
White boy day. Go get it.
March Madness, one fucking white boy hit the,
White boy
the
day.
winning shot, things like that.
That's different. That's totally
That's
different.
just
We're
harmless
fucking
fun.
around. It's funny. It's like, yeah, this is almost abnormal. There's a fucking white wide receiver.
But I just would say, like,
when was the last time you saw a white corner? Jason Sehorn?
LSU and that Iowa women's college championship game or whatever.
Hilarious, dude.
I fucking had no idea.
Picture.
Look, the entire Iowa fucking basketball team is white.
Oh, really?
And the entire LSU basketball team is black.
Was this like the girls or boys?
The girls.
Okay.
The girls.
Troy was like, had I known this before.
Like if I'd have seen these rosters, I would. This would have been a no-brainer bet for me. I mean,
Right. No, I don't know. You know how I feel. I feel like you get a little worked up and with the like.
I do. That's the point of having strong opinions.
Yeah. But you also, if you have a forum and you're spreading that out there, and
I also welcome all types of people in here to talk about some of this stuff.
I think some of that stuff you could argue. I would argue is like again, not whatever. I fucking hated what Kid Rock did. All these people throwing it out there like, "Fuck yeah, finally, fine." Fuck off. It was corny. It was stupid. It was look at me. I thought it was stupid, man. Honestly, I love Kid Rock. I've seen him many times. I'd go again.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fucking stupid, and I thought he got fucking triggered, man. You're gonna sit there and talk about how he doesn't. His new tour is Snowflakes tour.
Yeah.
How about a fucking snowflake, man?
Yeah, but if the word snowflake.
He says he doesn't. Oh, he is against trigger words. I don't trigger. Oh, this triggered me.
Yeah.
Well, that triggered him.
I think, in fairness, and we'll leave it here. In my opinion, Kid Rock is simply talking about the context. I could be wrong. I don't mean to put words in his mouth, but that's what I'm doing when I see that. And so while it may look like I have a very it may look like I have a very strong opinion about a stupid Bud Light ad. It really is not about the Bud Light ad.
Then do that.
That's just a topper to all the other shit.
Then have him do that in an interview more organically, maybe a podcast.
Sure.
But Troy
just don't get Michael Browned. That's my point of it.
Troy has mentioned it before, like, holy shit. Like, when you think of Bud Light, like, Kid Rock is Bud Light. That's the brand.
I get that.
So for someone like that, and he may have had an Anheuser-Busch tour. I remember the Jim Beam one.
I don't know if he actually had the tour, but I mean, I can picture him just like on golf courses with Bud Light.
Yeah, he seems like a Bud Light. He seems like a Bud Light dude,
that's a classic picture of him with the overalls, with his sat and a tall boy of Bud Light sitting there. You know, I mean, maybe that's not him all the time, but that's just iconic.
I agree with that.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And so if he felt like, oh, now they're coming for my fucking beer, fuck you people, and he goes out there, it's silly. I thought it was kind of stupid.
I really hate in general that he's gotten so politically. To be honest, like,
believe me, I know we're gonna have some Twisted Brown Trucker guys in here soon, and we'll talk about some of that stuff. I know they're not dying to talk about.
I'm sure,
a ton of Kid Rock stuff.
Yeah.
Just because, and I get it, but I honestly think that's probably what it is for Kid Rock. Is he's looking at the same videos that a lot of us are looking at and going, at what point do we go enough?
But again, I see the people sharing it, and I see the same people that claim, forget him even. All the people that share it and are like, hell yes.
Yeah.
Those are the same people who say, I don't get triggered. I'm not a snowflake. And here they are.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's my opinion. But
in the good old days of Budweiser, they had a lot of ads that not so cool now. I have a list of them of like 7 ads that. And I don't know if I'd throw in the can one. Great, it's a butt fuck reference.
Yeah,
I love it.
That one, you're right. By the way, that was definitely not on TV. Not after I rewatched.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
But I'd seen it for sure, so I just assumed that it must have been.
I want to say it was like dive into the internet. Hey, that's a Wild Wild West. We can do anything there. So, and when that was brought up in a writer's room, it was probably only middle-aged or
absolutely
younger or middle-aged white men in that room, and like. Hey, what do you guys think? Tossing ideas around in a session. Someone goes, well, we're coming out with Bud Light line in the can. He's like, yeah, like you get it in the can. You could just see some guy there like, I bet you'd like it in the can.
And I like it, to be honest with you.
What about that?
Hey, whoa, dude. Yes.
Yeah, that innuendo.
Yes. Okay, butt fucking you went hot. Can we do this? We could do it on the internet.
Can we put this on TV? No, but we can do it the WWW. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. I've heard about that.
right.
Wild West.
Whatever. Yeah, man. In the can. I love it.
You just said I love it in the can. Clippity.
Number one, and we don't have to play these, but the Up for Whatever Bud Light campaign. So these are controversial ads Budweiser doesn't want you to remember.
All right.
So the Up for Whatever, and I do remember this one where it was like, yeah, you have a few beers, and hey, I'm up for whatever, wherever the night goes.
Oh, and then they end up in like some fucked up, crazy situations.
Or it could mean like it's lowering your inhibitions, and all of a sudden, fucking church mom had a threesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm up for whatever once I'm drinking my buds. So it's hard to imagine what Bud was thinking with the slogans they used alongside these over-the-top reality commercials in 2013. The ads featured random people being treated to amazing experiences with the taglines, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Perfect beer for removing no from your vocabulary for the night.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hell yeah. You know what that means. You know what she's saying no
sex.
to.
That's not just sex.
Well,
that's just saying no to like
we all thought the same thing, didn't we?
I know.
Yep.
Well,
on the bottles. So that was on the bottles, removing no from your vocabulary for the night. It's easy to imagine the whole concept being shot down in the Me Too era, though. The typical Americans, Budweiser Super Bowl ad. Heart was in the right place. This is in 2020 with a Super Bowl
not
commercial.
long ago.
No, which drove to portray typical American as a heroic figure in the form of firefighters, soldiers, para-athletes, protesters, and more. The problem is that some of the real-life protest footage they showed was from the civil unrest in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oops.
Womp, womp.
So 1 or 2 people died at that.
They put that in an ad?
Yeah.
Just some stock footage.
Of a
It didn't vet that very well.
fiery but peaceful protest.
I for real on that, like, I don't care, but I wonder someone looked at that. And for real, was someone like, this is my chance to put this? That seems almost borderline like it was.
But they were calling protesters heroes.
Okay.
Right.
So in the room where they're developing it, it's like, yeah, these are the protest heroes. And it's like, yeah, but one of them got run over by a fucking Klansman.
By the way, that Bud Light in the can ad was like from 2009.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you figure social media, like the iPhone comes out in 2007.
Right.
So really, the World Wide Web explosion, all that shit is
Until the
just
iPhone,
on the
none of
cusp
us
of that.
before counted almost to me.
The Apology Bot 300. Do you guys remember that? Mm-mm. Where it was like, it was released in 2007. It was run it was not run during a Super Bowl, despite that being its original intention. It was controversial for several reasons. First, it makes rather stereotypical fun of a couple of Japanese sushi chefs. So this is the Robot 3000. It's like, it comes into the room. So it starts off with me and you talking. You're like, oh, man, I fucking cheated on my girl last night. And you're like, fuck, what are you going to do? And it's like,
right.
And then you go, hey, what about the Robot 3000? Apology Bot 3000. It's like, what's that? And then the robot comes in. Hey, sweet tits. Mike is super sorry he fucked your best friend. And then it opens up. It's like, how about a Bud Light? And it pops out a Bud Light. And she's like, all right.
Okay.
And so the Bud Light apology robot solves all your problems. I'm taking some creative liberty there with my description.
Yeah.
The Japanese sushi one is like, the robot comes out and it's like, the chefs wish to say sorry about Japanese blowfish. You are all poisoned to death. Enjoy some Bud Light. And it gives all them a Bud Light. And the sushi chefs are like, yes, very good. Looking around it. So it's, I don't know why that's so offensive. They didn't do the mocking Asian
voice.
Yeah, they didn't.
Very sorry.
Very
I
sorry.
would say if you don't do the voice, then it's not. I'd have to see it, I guess. But if you're not doing the voice, then what does it matter?
Right. Is that one on there? Did I might have pulled that one up.
I wouldn't mind seeing this because I want to, honestly, I kind of want to see if I feel like
okay. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for that.
How do I apologize for this? Apology Bot 3000.
Is it because of their talking like that?
I don't know.
This is an apology from
Kenji and Mike in the kitchen.
That blowfish you just ate was lethally poisonous. An ambulance is coming, but you're pretty much screwed. We're sorry for the inconvenience.
What?
But hey, Bud Light?
Nice.
See?
I don't understand it. Like, as far as being offensive,
if it was me and Troy doing those Japanese chef voices with the outfit on, that would
they're
be a
actual
problem.
Japanese guys. You can't get in trouble for that.
That's what I would
think.
say. Like, no, I would not count that as offensive to me personally.
Maybe at the end of it, they're all like, "Oh, no problem."
If they did something like that, yes, I would. That would be.
So
bitches.
If
maybe there, maybe.
I love when the writer of the article takes creative and they're like, third, it's a bit more anodyne. It's just not very funny. It's like,
I would disagree. I think
it's not a terrible concept.
For a commercial, it's fine.
Yeah. Budweiser's Here We Go Dog. So this is a 2012 one. I love these ones. It's got an overworked little dog who's been trained to go get a beer from the fridge for dad.
What's wrong with that?
It's mean.
Enslavement.
It's not the Taco Bell dog.
Exactly. It's enslavement.
Yeah.
They're worried about the dog.
Yeah, poor dog.
Being worked to death, getting beers for their alcoholic fucking dad.
Drinks too much.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Like I said, it's not the Taco Bell dog. No, that I get that. But
Yeah,
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
right now that I could see. I guess.
What's intended as a cute and clever ad actually depicts a pet being used as a servant.
Oh, shut up! Shut up!
Plus, like the previous ad, it's just not all that funny of a spot.
People that make these lists never find anything funny. I want to know.
I know.
When people make
because
these
the people
lists,
that make these lists are douchebags.
right? I want to sit down and watch like an episode of Prime, Curb, Seinfeld, something like that, and let them point out to me everything of why it's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because
here's the last one I'll mention. This is Budweiser's Tune Out ad. This is a great ad. I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care if you're fucking offended. This is a great ad, and it features an NFL referee standing there stoic, and he's got a coaching each
screaming
year.
it. Yeah, that's right.
Fucking chewing his ass out. And they're like, how does he do it? Blah, blah, blah. And then they fast forward to him at home with a wife bitching in his fucking ear. Like nonstop, just bitching in his ear. And it's like,
there you go. That's how you do it.
Why is that offensive?
Because after you, sir.
After you, sir. I'm not talking about. Go ahead.
Wow.
T.
Because it's stereotypical of the cunty wife screaming at her husband.
No, I get.
I know, but you can't fucking make fun of that stuff anymore.
That's
because
bullshit.
I know it's bullshit. Thank you. Welcome to the party.
Yes.
Well, see, I can see some. I can see some of this is bullshit to me. That's bullshit, man.
Yes.
Well, it's just a butt ad. What's your problem?
You know what's your problem?
Eric,
Fine, throw a fucking dude. Throw another dude in there, and have it be a guy yelling at him. Fine,
And
let's make it gay.
It's not that funny.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
exactly.
Why does he say that one's not funny?
Here's the problem with what you just said to solve that problem. Is if you threw a guy in there yelling, everyone would go, "Where has that ever happened in the history of mankind?"
Right?
Really, two friends are sitting there with one just screaming.
Oh, great, they're gay.
Which one's the bottom? I wonder.
Did he find any? Did every synopsis just be like, and it really wasn't that funny? I mean, did he say anything? Was like, yeah, this is because he's not going to say it's offensive, but I did find it funny, right?
He said, okay. The humor here is what?
Yeah, we all know what the humor is.
Humor's what? It's not funny.
A loveless, ostensibly emotionally abusive relationship where tuning out mentally is the only solution aside from or along with an implied. It's implied drinking, a swing and a miss.
What a fucking life of the party this guy must be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's make sure you belly up with him.
Yeah, we need him on the invite list.
Oh, no doubt.
By the way, so not to make this all about Dylan Mulvaney and the Bud Light shit. However, actual women have taken.
What do you mean by actual women?
I mean real women with vagines.
Boy,
functioning women
too. Did you?
Hope my new employees don't
tits
hear
and
this.
vagine. Yeah, that's.
Conservative women have been sharing the number of days lived as a woman.
Yeah.
So they're like, and they're rightfully so. Like, hey, Bud Light, where's my fucking special can?
Yeah, I'm at 10,000 days, asshole. Dylan's at 7.
Yeah. So women are sharing their own days of womanhood online. Today, I celebrate 12,620 days of real womanhood. Tweeted one going by MAGA Barbie.
Oh yeah.
Where's my sponsorship? Budweiser USA, Tampax, Nike, and they included this picture with it.
Oh my God! No way!
I swear to God.
No way! What was this on?
Dude, this is on the international paper known as Daily Mail.
No shit.
Yes. It's
I
Amy
would
Semple.
Fuck that chick right
Fuck
there.
Yeah.
Oh,
and she wouldn't hate you saying that.
No, God, no. She knows I'd put it right in the can.
Fuck yeah. We say it to her every time we see her.
That was
that's the best part about Amy is she's not offended by that.
Congratulations for putting a fucking great picture of her up there. Not one of those
God,
like find some shitty one and like try and.
It's not just it's just stock footage in the end, right? Like they
no,
just
that's her actual post.
Oh, okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So scroll down a little bit. I think you can see what she actually wrote. No. Go back up. Sorry. To the top. So that's her. MAGA Barbie is her thing, and she's what is her actual at? It's still unwoke 17.
I was gonna say yeah.
Yep. Still unwoke.
And so they've got a beautiful picture of Amy with a Gucci headband on, looking like an all-American hot blonde.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy, for Amy's part, say what you will about her, the girl is wicked smart.
Oh yeah,
she's quick. She's funny. She gets it. She's not offended by shit, and she can get a lot of shit for it. But I give her credit. She's got the ovaries to fucking put it out there.
She can hang.
Doesn't care.
Keep taking in the tits.
And Daily Mail picked up on it. And that's the picture they used.
That's strong.
And you can hear her every week on the Big E Comedy Adventure podcast.
Jesus, of course.
Well, they didn't use that. They didn't use that picture. She did. That's her tweet.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's her tweet.
Yeah.
So that's they didn't like add that like.
No.
Yeah. That's what I thought at first.
But a lot of times they'll leave the picture out and they'll just quote tweet someone.
Stupid.
Yeah, they knew. Oh, this hot blonde will get some traction.
Oh, we get.
I wonder if
and
her
MAGA
followers. I'll have to ask if
her followers will go way up.
I was going to say, how could they not? How could they not?
That'd be a great question.
She needs to become one of those fucking hot people that all of a sudden goes viral.
Yep,
dude. She had a strong Twitter following before they canceled her.
Before they got killed, yeah.
And she's still unwoke.
It used to be awake, not woke.
Awake now.
That was her original.
Yes.
And they still not woke.
And she's a great example of someone who put facts. She's like Gina Carrere or Quran or whatever, putting facts out there, and then them just going, "No, you're not in the good graces of Twitter. Fuck off."
Yep.
And it was like, what?
The best was when she was doing Newberg's show one time. Newberg had another comic or something on, and she was talking, but that was when she was in the heat of being like literally stalked to the point where they were doxing her.
That was crazy.
And she was talking about it, and this other comic, not Newberg, because Newberg's a good guy, but the other dude who clearly was a lefty did not give a fuck that she was being stalked because he could tell what her thoughts were.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Good. You deserve it.
Literally didn't care. And she's talking about people.
Yeah, that's troubling, isn't it?
Right.
That's
He didn't even care. Not even a
troubling.
mild level of humanity to be like, hey,
Dude,
I don't agree with you, but that's too much.
If anyone was going to fucking come up from behind and hit her in the head with a brick, it would be some leftist lunatic.
I come up from
No
behind her,
offense.
it's not going to be a brick I hit her with.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. You're talking about your dick. I get it.
It rhymes with brick. With my brick. With my brick.
So a couple other ones, and then we'll get to some emails. Today I celebrate 18,000 days of womanhood. I've held 8 babies in my womb. I gave birth to and raised 6. Okay, she had 8 and 2 of them.
Gross.
Like, fuck this. I'm out of here.
All right, would you throw them away?
Jesus.
Too many.
I went through triple negative breast cancer. What is triple negative titty cancer? I don't even know what that is.
Maybe 3 times.
I read the wrong one. This one's gross. All these
right?
kids
What the
spitting
hell?
out.
Go back. Don't they have any
cancer.
more hot chicks? What the fuck?
I'm a sister, aunt, daughter, granddaughter, and now a mother. I've endured 229 menstrual cycles.
Oh, God. Jeez.
Gross.
Say a lot.
Keep it to yourself, ladies.
I would question that math.
Would you?
Yeah, isn't it like once a month?
What? I mean, this bitch has been knocked up so many times. You know how many she's missed?
No, different chick.
Oh,
Different
all right.
chick. Yeah, this is the
Okay,
8-bit
okay.
I was like, listen, you just average that shit out. Don't,
You're right. That would be like 8 years of her prime spent fucking legs
Yeah.
up, spitting a kid out.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You're skipping all kinds of months in
No, this is a different chick.
All right.
I've
She
been
better not have any
pregnant.
fucking kids.
I've been pregnant one time and gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. My body grew a human child, and my body is now feeding a human child. No man can say he has done these things because you cannot change your gender. One woman, I'm a former women's college athlete, a daughter, a sister, and a lesbian. I do not support the alphabet soup agenda. I've survived titty cancer and been through early menopause, and I refuse to let anyone try to discredit me as a woman. And they go on. A lot of them mention their menstrual cycles.
Yeah. Well,
It's
listen.
gross, but it's got to sting.
Men can have periods too, Mike, though.
that's
So
a
they
check
didn't even
mark.
mention it.
Oh, I know. I saw Dave Lando's bit where he was, what was he having?
He had the Tampax Pearl Harbors or whatever.
Pearl Harbors.
Manpax Pearl Harbors or something like that.
That's got to sting a lot for the I'm a lady crowd. They're all mentioning their menstrual cycles.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, and babies.
And
Yeah,
babies, yeah.
Check and checkmate.
yes,
Sir.
There's a lot there. Now, for the ladies that are barren, there are such thing as female barren wombs.
There are.
You know, feel bad for them.
Yeah.
It's not a shot at them. They still have,
It's still a womb.
still a womb.
Yes.
It is.
Barren as it may be.
Yeah.
It's still a womb.
It's like a canyon in there, just echoing throughout.
Tumbleweeds falling
All right.
out of there and shit.
Should we get some email? Why don't you do a read for us?
Yeah,
T,
well, because
first?
emails are brought to you by your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance?
Probably.
Are you uninsured?
No, I'm not uninsured.
Well, health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements, so you don't have to be. Call Nick Matthews at 248-914-1173, 248-914-1173. He's getting me some life insurance.
Excellent.
I am woefully uninsured.
Nice.
Underinsured.
Good news for your daughters.
It is, actually.
Yeah, I know them, and they can be. I
Cunty?
wouldn't put it past them shooting you.
Yeah, well,
Just
they
to
don't collect
collect.
it. I'm going to make sure that they know that if I murdered, they don't collect it.
What if it's suspicious? Can you put suspicious in there, like if you're pushed over a cliff?
Yeah. Well, then no. Don't,
No trips to the Grand Canyon for you.
Don't
Plan
fuck up my
ideas.
don't fuck up my hiking trips. I have plans.
I wouldn't tell them that you've got the insurance yet. I just get it, no problem. Under the radar, they're young.
It'll
they're
just
not
be a
listening
happy
to us.
surprise when you die and they get money.
Yeah, they're like, we thought
Right.
our dad was a piece of shit, and here he left us $500,000.
Yeah.
What a guy.
I'm going to be $99,990 in debt when I do it.
Okay, let's see. Let's get to some email. Walters at DetroitCast.com. Feel free to send your emails. We love hearing from you. We really do. Not lobsters.
Oh, Steve, thank you, by the way. They were fucking amazing.
Oh, they were creepy.
Oh my God, dude!
I wanted
listener Steve from Maine sent me 3 fucking live lobsters yesterday.
Ah, nice.
And I made them for dinner, and they
gotta
were
say,
fucking amazing.
That one guy you picked up, and his clippers were tied together,
Yeah.
and his eyes were blinking. He was so cute. I wanted to steal him.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're gonna put him in a boiling water and
You
then
should have
eat
heard him scream. He
scream?
whined like a bitch for like 15 minutes.
He was so cute though, because he wasn't like some of them you see that are fucking 2 feet long.
Yeah.
He looked like a cuddly bear, and his eyes were blinking, and I was like, "Oh man, they taped his clippers. They
Then
taped
how was
them
he?
shut." I didn't fucking eat
I
it.
wouldn't eat it. No.
Gross.
You know,
I've never tried it. Really.
you never had lobster?
I don't think so.
Oh man, it was
You like
so
fish?
good.
Kinda.
It's not
I
quite.
like
It's
some
definitely
fish.
not the same as fish.
Okay.
It's like fucking fillet of fish.
Gotcha.
Not a fillet o fish, to clarify. The
Which I also
fillet
like, by the way.
of fish. But I will say, I was going through because it's been a long time since I did like whole lobsters, right?
Yeah.
And so like I was reading the steps and like how you're supposed to open it and crack it and get all the shit out. Well, the very last step in there is find the, like, I forget what it's called, like trolley or trevally or some shit like that. And it's this green goo that is in the inside of it. And they were like, some people consider it a delicacy.
Oh,
There's people out there that feed fucking like eyeballs and shit. So,
Some people eat their own fucking afterbirth.
yeah.
But
That's true.
Placenta.
I tried it.
Disgusting. Disgusting, right?
It
was
shit. No, it's not shit. It's their guts. They're nothing. They're the shell
You know
with
what's funny?
like
It's
goo.
so hard when you try to eat something, like, because like if you're used to what you're eating, so when you eat something, you already kind of have a hesitancy, and you're not used to it, and like what are you?
I don't know.
It's just hard
way
for me. Like,
I could take out the innards. Like I understand how hypocritical I am. I'm eating beef and stuff, but
Right.
I could never slit the cow's throat. Like, okay, I'm at least man enough to admit I'm that pussy. But God, seeing that thing, it's like I don't know who looked at a lobster for the first time and went, "I bet there's some edible shit in there."
Yeah.
Like. No,
so like
everything about that, looking at it, looks like avoid at all cost.
You know what I'm saying?
They look like badasses.
But when you're trying to take that, like I'm gonna fucking do it. It's such a weird thing because you're already going into it with a weird mindset. It's not something you've known or familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Was it good?
I'm not going to say it was good. It wasn't. It wasn't like awful. Like I didn't like spit it out and like fucking couldn't get the taste out of my mouth or anything. It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know, it was because it was
weird.
warm.
Right.
And like mushy and just like like.
Did you like fully?
Oh, I ate it.
Okay,
Yeah. I fucking went in there. I took a big old fucking spoonful. I'm gonna lean into it,
dude. I'm
fucking try
honestly
it.
getting nauseous.
Good. It was
seriously.
I wish I would have kept some. Oh, it's still. I'll get some out of the.
No, don't.
The can. Yeah.
Please don't.
The carcasses are still in there. I'll dig some out for you.
It was
So
just like
the guy that sent
sorry.
the lobsters.
All right, anyway,
did you
thank
have
you.
a
Just
point
real quick,
you
I was going to
wanted
say, like, I had a reindeer burger last year, right?
Sure.
I've only had beef my whole life, maybe turkey, and it's like I couldn't tell in the end. I didn't love it, and I couldn't tell though. Like, did I not like it because I wasn't used to it, or did I not like it because I really didn't like it?
If nobody told you and they just gave it to you,
I would have been able to tell it wasn't a hamburger.
Well, a lot of that stuff's gamey. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and
a different taste.
playing volleyball at the Kuntz's? They had the volleyball court in the backyard and the pool. We would go over there as kids, and I remember they were having a barbecue once, and they were like, "You've got to try. There's the greatest thing ever." And the whole place, everybody there, all the adults, kids, we're all playing beach volleyball and shitty at a sand court in the backyard. And they were grilling up, and I don't know, I'm sure you would have been there.
Probably.
So maybe you remember this. They were grilling up shark fillets.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no, I'm not eating a
But it's like,
fucking
why not,
shark
really,
fillet.
right?
Well, he doesn't
They're
eat
like, Mike,
fish anyway.
you like fillets. This is literally the greatest fucking steak you'll ever blah, blah. I took a bite of it, and it was fucking disgusting.
Right.
So gross. And maybe it's just what you're talking about. Like, I'm not
Your
accustomed to it.
mindset's there too. Like
My
you're
mindset-
already. I mean, even if it was the most delicious thing in the world, you're
it
already
wasn't.
against it. Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like you've already you're already off before you
Right.
try and eat any of that
Yeah.
stuff. So, I mean, it'd be one thing if you like close your eyes and you tried a bunch of different things and you stuck it in there, like that might be different if you
Yeah.
had no idea what it was.
I would say in my example of the reindeer burger, I was excited to try something. I thought, why not? And I didn't even finish it in the end. I just didn't love it. But again, I still said to myself, is it just you don't like it, or is it
Oh,
that
it's
you
just
don't?
fucking Rudolph. God damn it.
It'd be interesting.
Ruining
to
your childhood.
It'd be interesting to see if someone just served those like a burger.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't.
I used to go to wild game dinners with my dad when we were kids. I mean, I've had everything. I've
doesn't
had
surprise me.
ostrich, rattlesnake, alligator, but I mean everything.
Yeah.
Mike, you can get steaks, chickens, and potatoes and all that shit locally. I wanted to do something more unique Anyway, a question. Have you, anyone you know, or if you could put the word out on the cast, ever been to Marvelous Marvin's Mechanical Museum in Farmington Hills?
That's our jam, baby.
The family unit and I will be in the Detroit area in June and are thinking of checking it out. As time will be limited, though, we don't want to waste it. My daughter wants to see where I grew up, and Marvin's is the only real unknown. Thanks. After this, I won't bug you for a while as far as you know. That's You can bug me all you want. I appreciate the emails. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We went to the high school with Jeremy,
Yep.
and his father was
son.
Marvin.
Yes.
So we used to go there with Jeremy and just like open up a machine, and then they dump a bucket of quarters in our hands.
Just take the fucking big of quarters out. We beat the Simpsons fighting game, like Street Fighter Simpsons game.
Yeah,
we beat it one day.
Nice.
Because we just kept, you never died.
Exactly.
You just kept pumping fucking quarters into it. And you were just invincible. And we went fucking start to finish in, I don't know, a couple hours. Whatever it was.
Nice.
But definitely worth it. Absolutely go to Mars.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
I don't know if it'll hold up as much as it did when we were younger.
I still go all the time.
Yeah, it's a unique place, though. It's worth seeing. I mean, it's got all.
Is it the greatest arcade ever? No.
But it's got cool stuff.
Spend more time looking around than playing the games.
Yeah.
Because there's so much shit in there on the walls, the old
Ceiling.
crazy stuff. I mean, everywhere, every corner.
Don't they have the Voltron machine too, like in big?
They
used
have multiple.
anyways.
Yeah, I mean, like the fortune telling machines and stuff.
Yeah.
They have everything. I mean, from like the first fucking game ever made. I love that too. Their pinball wall is chronological. From like the
years?
from the old so they do them chronologically from like the old fucking bullshit wood flipper all the way up to like the newest game and chronologically like that.
Awesome. Let's see, maybe I'll hold this one. Okay, let's do one more. Series to watch, Cult Leader. Not a movie, but a great series to watch is Bad Sisters on Apple TV, Apple Plus. You're welcome, Scott, father of Michael and Robert. Unique names.
Ah, there you go.
Very, very unique.
Very unique.
Thank you, Scott. I believe I may have started watching Bad Sisters. I know my parents recommended it. And they're usually pretty good. They're usually pretty good about not, my brother on the other hand, don't ask my brother for a movie. Just don't do it. It's kind of a family joke. Like, G liked it?
Yep. We'll pass.
We'll pass on that one. His tastes in movies, not the greatest. But my parents they're pretty good about that shit. So, all right, with that, we'll call it a day. We'll be back tomorrow. Isis, good luck on your venture, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Bid you
We're gonna miss you,
sir.
Thank you.
Are you going to be coming home at all this summer, or do you just stay there the whole time?
I'm not going to say I won't, but I'm really probably not. I did buy SummerSlam tickets for WWE, so I will be back in August, I guess, for a few days. But my plan is really mostly to stay up there and really.
Okay.
Is it just a Monday through Friday type gig?
It's a Monday through Friday job.
I
got weekends off, man.
Nice.
So I get to explore the island.
I bet you'll get sick of the island before too long.
Well, I have a plan.
Probably.
But still, take that time to go around and do some different things.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. That's my thought process. Like, just
to
getting
Isle
up to
Royale and
Mackinac, it's already a long drive. Yeah. So my normal life, like, once you get up there, so now I'm starting there. Yep. So you're right. I'm going to take some weekends and Drummond Island. I've never done.
Can we come up there some weekend and hang out with you?
Absolutely. If you want to come up there, man,
I do want to come up to Mackinac, actually. I do.
I will encourage
I think my brother has a friend who has like a super hookup at a hotel.
Okay.
And so he
better
was
be
going to
the
go
fucking
up
Grand
there.
Hotel.
It might be the Grand Hotel.
Better be.
I encourage
so we
it.
might be able to hook something up. Maybe we go do a weekend up there with E, bring a couple microphones.
Do a remote.
Do a remote.
Literally my favorite place.
I haven't been since I was a kid. Honest to God, I haven't been to Mackinac since I was a little kid.
Yeah, it's
so I wouldn't mind coming up. Isis, I will say it is always a pleasure having you here. I know you are our woke ambassador, but even when I get mad at you, I'm not really mad at you.
I know.
I love having you here. I think you add an element that is almost irreplaceable, and I'm going to miss you.
Wow,
and,
my Lord.
Yeah, I mean
Jesus Christ.
Whether you're gone for a year traveling the country or up north, I think you're a unique individual, unique character, and unique personality.
Well,
and I will miss you while you're gone.
Shut the fuck up, Isis.
Sorry.
Yeah, let me get the fucking compliment out of my mouth first.
Christ.
I know it makes you uncomfortable, but I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I will say, as I've said many a times, if it weren't for, honestly, you or this show, I wouldn't be able to do these life bucket lists that I wanted to do. If I had just gone on my life without that,
whatever small role we've played, I'm grateful for. So have a great time, buddy. I know it's a bucket list item for you, and you're going to have a blast. And hopefully we see you before the summer's over, and hopefully we even shoot up there this year.
That'd be fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. We will be back tomorrow.